Hey there. Ever since I started this Everybody's Lying About Islam series, people have been trying to teach me history. According to a lot of people in the comments, Christians and Muslims have been locked in a centuries-long struggle. The Quran is a 1400-year-old recipe for world domination, and the history of Islam is one of ceaseless conquest and murder. Normally, I ignore all of this nonsense. The idea that Islamic extremism has more to do with 1400-year-old texts than it has to do with the past 70 years of U.S. policy and about $1 trillion Saudi dollars strikes me as transparently silly. Beyond that, modern religious practice is not as old as we are told it is. Sure, most world religions have books and stuff that go back hundreds or even thousands of years, but no matter what they tell us in the churches, mosques, and temples, the lived experience of any religion doesn't really go back anywhere near that far. The fact that most religious people can read now is a very, very new thing, which has changed religion as completely as it has changed every other aspect of human life. So generally speaking, I think drawing lessons from religious history going back more than a century or two is just dumb. But I got a lot of comments on it, so in the spirit of the season, I thought it might make sense to close out the year by delving into a bit of ancient religious history. Commenters love to point me to Islam's history of conquest. They point out that in a few brief decades, Muhammad and his successors essentially conquered the world. They invaded every area they could that didn't acknowledge the supremacy of Islam, and they killed a lot of people doing it. My commenters argue that this was a terrible, evil thing to do. And they are absolutely right about that. But what they fail to acknowledge is the fact that all of human history, up until 1945 or so, is a ceaseless tale of people doing terrible, evil things to each other. I'm amazed by the ignorance of most of these amateur anti-Islam historians. They seem to think that people 1,000 years ago, or even 100 years ago, had the same attitudes towards war and conquest that we do today. They really didn't. It's disgusting, but back before World War I, pretty much anybody in history with real power thought conquering stuff was great. In the 600s and 700s, the First Islamic Empire carried out what was probably the third or fourth most impressive conquest of all time. The resulting empire was finished by the year 750. Many powerful Islamic states have existed since, but Muslims have spent a lot more time fighting each other than they have anybody else. Muslim conquerors had a brief moment leading the world in the evil conquest sweepstakes, but they have had a lot of competition. I'd also put the Romans and the Mongols in the top 4, but the other 3 are completely blown out of the water by the Europeans. From the 1500s and really getting started in the 1700s up until 1945 or so, European Christians, and they definitely saw themselves as Christians, savagely conquered the whole damn world. Muhammad's successors made it to 3 continents. The competing Christian empires rampaged through all 7. Comparing the evils of history is a fundamentally very stupid game, but I assure you, Europe's Christians were the worst. History is a terrible place. Pretending that any one group has a monopoly on evil or conquest is a great way to look foolish. It may seem silly to focus on the basics like this, but I think it's an important thing to do. This myth of Islam's special history of evil has a lot to do with the fact that we can still see Muslims as the bad guys in the United States, even though we've spent the past 16 years destroying Muslim countries. Next up, we'll deal with one of the greatest crimes ever committed by Islam against Christianity, according to my most Islamophobic commenters. Next up, the fall of Constantinople. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you would like a free essay on a completely different topic, I suggest you sign up for my email newsletter. Thanks.